Study Session 3. Religion as a Social Institution. Introduction. Religion, one of the oldest human institutions in society, is also among the most changeable and complex. On one hand, religion expresses our deepest yearnings for spiritual enlightenment and understanding. On the other, conflicts over religious beliefs and practices have given rise to persecution, war, and much human suffering, as can be seen. This study session will therefore discuss religion as a social institution. Specifically, we will look into the definition and the elements of religion as a social spiritual phenomenon. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Define religion, 2. Describe religion as a social institution. Frameworks of religion. Religion is not easy to define. One could begin with a definition that has a concept of God as it is called. But many religions do not have a clear concept of God. One could define religion in terms of emotions of spirituality, oneness with nature, mystery, and many other feelings. But that would not be a very helpful definition. This is because all the foregoing are extremely difficult to capture in words. Looking at it from another dimension, one might think in terms of organized religion, such as churches, congregations, ministers, and so on. But clearly, the organizational aspect of religion is just one of its many dimensions. It is therefore frustrating to define religion in a definite manner. However, without a good working definition of religion, it is impossible to compare different religions or refer to particular aspects of religion. Bloom, 1997. In this study, we can approach a working definition of religion in the following perspective, as explained by Golk and Stark, 1965, John Stone, 1992, McGrews, 1997, and Anderson and Taylor, 2004. They develop the elements of definition of religion in the following ways. 1. Religion is institutionalized. Religion is more than just beliefs. It is a pattern of social action organized around a set of beliefs, practice, and symbols that people develop in order to grasp the meaning of existence. As an institution, religion presents itself as larger than an individual. It persists over time and has an organizational structure into which members are socialized. 2. Religion as a support for identity. Religion is built around a community of people with similar beliefs. It is a cohesive force among believers because it is a basis for group identity and gives people a sense of belonging to a community or organization. Religious groups can be formally organized, as in the case of large bureaucratic churches, or they may be more informally organized, ranging from prayer groups to cults. Some religious communities are extremely close-knit, as in convents. Others are diffuse, such as people who identify themselves as Protestants but attend church services only on Easter. 3. Religions are based on a very sacred belief. The sacred is that which is set apart from ordinary activity. It is seen as holy and protected by special rites and rituals. Religions define that which is sacred. Most religions have sacred objects and sacred symbols. The holy symbols are infused with special religious meaning that inspires our reference. A totem is an object or living thing that a religious group regards with special awe or reverence. A totem is important not for what it is, but for what it represents. There is nothing inherent in this object or event that define them as sacred. Instead, the significance of a token derives from the sacred meaning that is socially attributed to the object. To a Christian taking communion, a piece of bread is defined as the flesh of Jesus. Eating the bread unites the communicant mystically with Christ. To a non-believer, a piece of bread is simply an ordinary thing. However, because religious beliefs are held so strongly, sacred religious symbols have enormous power and generate strong emotional response. Certain behaviors can inspire, offend, or anger people depending on the religious meaning of the behavior. 4. Religion is a system of moral values and prescriptions. A prescription is a constraint imposed by external forces. Religion typically establishes prescription for the behavior of believers, and some of this are quite strict. For example, the Catholic Church defines living together as sexual partners outside marriage as a sin. The lifestyle is condemned as immoral selfishness and an unwillingness to make a long life commitment through marriage. Often, religious believers come to see such moral prescriptions as simply right and behave accordingly. Other times, individuals may consciously reject moral prescriptions, although they may still feel guilty when they engage in a forbidden practice. 5. Religion is a system of behavior. Religious beliefs establish social norms about how the faithful should behave in certain situations. Worshippers may be expected to cover their heads in a temple, mosque, or cathedral, or wear certain clothes. Such behavioral expectations may be very strong. 6. Religion as an answer to the question of ultimate meaning. The ordinary beliefs of daily life, secular beliefs, may be institutionalized, but they are specifically not religious. Science, for example, generates secular beliefs based on particular ways of thinking. Logical and empirical observations are at the root of scientific beliefs. Religious beliefs often have a supernatural element. They emerge from supernatural needs and may provide answers to questions that cannot be probed with the tools of science and reason. In sum, according to Kohlblum 1997, religion is any set of coherent answers to the dilemmas of human existence that makes the world meaningful. From this point of view, religion is how humans express their feelings about such ultimate concerns as sickness or death, or the meaning of human life. Almost all religions involve their adherents in a system of beliefs and practices that express devotion to the supernatural and foster deep feelings of spirituality. In this sense, we say that religion functions to meet the spiritual needs of individuals. Religion as an institution. As an institution, religion is characterized by the following features identified by Piazza and Clock 1979, Tab 1986, and Kohlblum 1997. 1. Religion is a major social institution because it carries out important social functions and encompasses a great variety of organization. For example, churches, congregation, charities, each with its own status and roles. For example, ministers, priests, rabbis, parishioners, fundraisers, and specific set of norms and values. Another example, the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rules, the Chronic Rules. As an institution, religion performs the function of helping people express their feelings of spirituality and faith. Religion is often said to be a cultural institution because it guides a society's mental life, especially its ideas about morality, goodness, and evil. Of course, religion is not alone in performing these functions, but it remains a powerful source of moral precepts. 2. Religion also serves to cover legitimacy on a society's norms and values. Families seek the blessing of holy matrimony in weddings, baptisms, confirmations, and other religious ceremonies mark the passage of children through their developmental stages. They also provide occasions for statements about proper behavior and good conduct. Swearing with a holy Bible is common in courtrooms and on other occasions when norms of truth and fairness are being enforced. 3. Our society insists on the separation of the influence of religion from the laws of government. There is always controversy, however, over how much legitimacy religions can confer on political behavior. Fundamentalist Muslims may deny women rights that would be taught routine in our own culture, such as the right to drive a car. Christian fundamentalists may claim that God does not favor political candidates who support abortion or homosexual rights. But this claims that religion legitimizes particular norms and that God does not condone their transgression by political leaders usually clash with more secular interpretations of the society's norms. The debates over the role of religion in the political process can become extremely controversial. 4. Until comparatively recent times, religion dominated the cultural life of human society. Activities that are now performed by other cultural institutions, particularly education, art, and the media, used to be the province of religious leaders and organizations. In hunting and gathering bands, and in many tribal societies, the holy person was also the teachers and communicator of the society's beliefs and values. In early agrarian societies, the priesthood was the powerful force. Only the priests were literate and hence able to interpret and preserve the society's sacred text, which represented the cultural most strongly held values and norms. For example, in ancient Egypt, where the pharaoh was worshipped as a god, his organization of religion and local priests controlled the entire society. 5. At the same time, through religion is a source of division and conflict. It can also be a force for healing social problems and moving the mass of the people towards greater insight into the common humanity. This occurs at the micro level of interactions. For example, in groups, the Alcoholics Anonymous, in which spirituality is an essential part of the recovery program. At the macro level, the power of faith can be seen in impoverished rural and urban communities throughout Latin America. African communities are inclusive. In those communities, Catholic church leaders, parish priests, and lay parishioners have embraced the ideas of a social gospel that seek the liberation of believers from poverty and oppression. These base Christian communities, as they are often called, have become a powerful force in the movement for social justice and other far-reaching changes in their societies. Study session summary. In this study session, we explained religion as a social institution. We discussed its basic elements in society. That ends study session 3. Thanks for listening.